Hello, it is Nancy Juetten, and I've got a very big question for you. If going 100% remote and high fee in your speaking business is a priority, would it surprise you to know that that's exactly what we're going to talk about today? And today's very special guest for the Learn More, Earn More YouTube channel, hosted by yours truly, Nancy Juetten, is going to be the best time you spend today. And my fondest hope is that this interview is something you're going to listen to again and again and again, and that you're going to share it with all the speakers you know who might be sitting on their hands with their head in the sand, wondering what the heck they're going to do to recover from whatever life has served up in this interesting year that we are calling 2020. So I hope I've grabbed your attention. My name is Nancy Juetten. I am the host of the Learn More, Earn More interview show, and I'm also the leader of the Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group. And what do we do there? Well, if your mission and your message and making money need to share center stage in your business, you're going to run and not walk to Raise Your Voice, Make Your Impact Facebook group, and I will gladly welcome you there, and I'll put the link in the show notes. But enough about me. I want to introduce you to our amazing, extraordinary guest I'm super excited about. David Newman, certified speaking professional, is a thought leadership marketing expert, a jalapeno fan, a dog lover, an Atari gamer, and someone who is a member of the National Speakers Association $1 Million Speaker Group. He brings to you a rapid fire, do this now series of value bombs that will ignite your entrepreneurial income and influence, all in a conversational, no hype style that is fun and fresh. He is the author of business bestsellers, Do It Marketing, Do It Speaking, 77 Action Ideas to Market, Monetize, and Maximize Your Expertise with HarperCollins. And he's also the creator of the Do It Marketing Business Acceleration Mentoring Program, and is known as one of the leading revenue growth mentors for consultants, coaches, and independent professionals. And not only that, but I happened to go to his LinkedIn profile today to get some social proof around how awesome it is, because sometimes I'll say he's awesome and you're thinking, how awesome could he be? And other people would tell you that he is freaking awesome. Kathleen Cat O'Sullivan says, David is the real deal, off the charts amazing, no fluff, just great stuff over and over again. Love his sense of humor and how he creates a safe place for us to grow and accelerate our businesses. Stacy Hankey, who's the expert executive presence and influence communication skills coach, says he's the ultimate guru in marketing, and that his marketing insights and ability to quickly identify 3 times and 10 times revenue opportunities in your business are impressive. Everyone says these kinds of things about him. What if you had social proof like that about how brilliant you are? David, I'm so excited to welcome you to the show.
Nancy, holy smokes. Well, the show's over, everybody. Thank you so much. That introduction was the program. Anything I say after that is only going to screw it up.
Well, you're a doll, you're sweet, you're wonderful. So we've already established the wonderfulness about you. So now you're all this awesomeness, but there must have been a journey that you took to get from there to here to create this 100% remote high-fee business of your own, that you're also helping other people achieve the same. What if you tell us a little bit about how you got from there to here?
Sure. Well, I always laugh when I tell this story, because as far as marketing and sales and any of the things that we teach our clients today, I was the most hopeless, I was the most pathetic, I was the most ignorant and resistant person that you could imagine. So I started my business back in 2002. I had a 10-year corporate career as an internal consultant, trainer, seminar leader. And I go out on my own. And Nancy, you know this story because you interview lots of entrepreneurs and you help lots of entrepreneurs. The thought process was, I already know how to speak. I already know how to train. How hard can this be? And I found out exactly how hard it can be, because once you're an entrepreneur, your work is no longer about doing the work. Your work is now about getting the work. And I was all kinds of resistant, and I had no idea how to market, no idea how to sell. The first 6 months, Nancy, I had my business cards printed up. I had a really rudimentary kind of goofy website. And I was thinking, well, at some point the phone's gonna ring. And I literally was that naive. It's like, yeah, this business thing, I'm not sure why this is so, like, no one's calling, no one's emailing. I'm sitting here all by my lonesome. Nothing's really happening. And I was literally waiting for divine intervention or someone to quote unquote discover me, or, you know, I was going down to the chamber. I was doing all the networking with all the wrong people for all the wrong reasons. I was there with the fruit basket lady. I was there with the insurance guy. None of these folks were my prospects. I had no idea about focused, targeted prospecting, lead generation, actually having a sales system and a sales process. And with the theory that even a blind squirrel occasionally finds a nut, I started getting dribs and drabs of this little bit of local work. And then I finally connected, before I connected with the National Speakers Association that you very kindly mentioned in my intro, I was more of a trainer. So I got connected with the Philadelphia chapter of ASTD, which is now ATD. They dropped the S, but it used to be the American Society of Training and Development. And there I met with all kinds of seminar leaders and workshop leaders and corporate trainers. And I was like, so how does this getting clients thing work? And they go, oh, well, you have to do something called outreach. I said, outreach, wow. So that would be different than waiting for the phone to ring. Yeah. And you have to decide who you want to do business with. It's like, I have to decide who I want to do business with? Like, how do I know? Well, first you do some homework, then you do some intelligent prospecting, then you'd open up some relationships, then you'd have some conversations with decision makers, and you'd invite them to a deeper conversation about how you can help them. And all of this was like, explaining nuclear physics to a monkey of some kind. That it was like, I see your lips moving, I see that you're making words, but none of it was sinking in. So literally for 3 years, I struggled. I hit every dead end. I hit every brick wall. I made every mistake in the book. I made the good ones twice because they were so much fun. And then finally, I got a grip and I said, okay, I have to learn this marketing thing. I have to learn this sales thing. Now, marketing and sales was not my topic originally. I became a student of marketing and sales so I could sell my other workshops and programs. As I started studying it, as I started getting into it, I was like, well, this is pretty interesting. And I started coming up with my own kind of permutations and combinations and marketing strategies, inbound and outbound, and some thought leadership marketing strategies, meaning the way that we market our smarts, the way we market our intellectual property. I wrote a couple of books early on, which were self-published, and we'll never speak of those again. And I just started, getting a little bit of traction. Lo and behold, a couple of my colleagues in ASTD, a couple of my training and workshop speaker buddies, said to me, hey, you seem to be getting some traction. Can I pick your brain? Can we have coffee? Can we have lunch? This is back when we could have coffee and lunch. And so I said, sure. And I'm having all these coffees and all these lunches just because they're good people and they're asking good questions and I'm having fun telling them what to do. A friend of mine one day just stops me mid-sentence and says, David, you should do this for a living. And I said, do what for a living? Eat lunch? He says, no, you should help people like me, consultants and trainers and speakers, grow our business. And I laughed at him. I was like, are you kidding? No. Trainers and speakers and consultants and coaches, they're all broke. Thanks, but no thanks. I'm going back to my big corporate training contracts. I am not doing that. He says, listen, humor me. Just if I get 4 or 5 people together, will you help us? We'll do like a small little workshop. So literally in my living room, and he did in fact get 4 or 5 people together. I said, listen, I'm gonna have to charge you. I said, we're gonna do 4 weeks together. It's gonna be $50 because I wanted to charge them at least bagel juice and coffee money. Now it wasn't $50 a week. It was $50 for the whole 4 weeks. So it was $12.50 per week so I could go out to Dunkin' Donuts and grab some juice and bagels and coffee. Anyway, this was 2008. I'm having so much fun teaching this little 4-week in-person workshop in my living room every Tuesday morning. At the same time, I landed this $10,000 training contract with an insurance brokerage firm here in Philadelphia. I walk into the training room. There's 20 people sitting there looking like prisoners. They have these sourpuss faces on. They've got their arms crossed. They're really just mean, nasty. They don't want to be there. And that is the moment, Nancy, when I had the blinding flash of the obvious. I am in the wrong room, teaching the wrong thing to the wrong people for the wrong reason. And I was having more fun in my living room with the $50 bagel, coffee, and juice crowd than with the $10,000 corporate client that I was brought in to do the training for. At this point, I'm like, okay, sign from the universe, one of these positive taps that just kind of smacks you on the head. And I said, okay, this is the day that I dial back my corporate business and I start to wind up my entrepreneurial business. And then I have not looked back since. And so it's been 12 plus years with this focus, with this target market, with this value prop. And, the best way to put this in a nutshell is I'm trying to run the kind of coaching and mentoring company that I wish existed and that I wish I had back in 2002 when I was so hopeless, clueless, and broke.
Hopeless, clueless, and broke. And the opposite of that would be full of hope, super savvy, and wealthy.
That's right. Exactly.
And people want
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. Well, the opposite of what we're running away from is what calls us forward, don't you think?
Yes, for
That's
sure.
Such a great story, because sometimes we see these wildly successful people and we think that they've always been that way. And just by the very sharing of what might be described as a humble beginning, you were sort of tuning into who your ideal people would be, what you were best suited to teach and share with them, and who you wanted to be in relationship with. And now fast forward to 2020, and speakers, experts, and consultants who want to be 100% remote and high fee, delivering value for their ideal clients, are the people that you serve. They're really a reflection of who you want to be and who you already are, right?
Right. Exactly.
So when you started your business, it was 2008, and that was the Great Recession. And for many people, that was
two things.
Time.
I originally started the original way my business started was right after 9/11.
Oh, sure.
So 2000 and literally January 2002, and the world was just totally devastated, and no air travel and all the kind of similar things we're going through now. And then my big pivot into, okay, let's leave the corporate stuff behind and let's focus on coaching and mentoring other experts, speakers, etc. That was right in the middle of the big financial meltdown of 2008. So my timing needs work. My timing.
Well, and so here we are as we speak today, it's December 14th, 2020, and we've been visited by a whole other animal this year known as the global pandemic of COVID-19. And you being involved in the National Speakers Association and working with speakers, experts, and authors and experts, consultants, and people of that ilk, there's probably a lot of people that are wringing their hands, their heads in the sand. They've been hoping and praying that this thing would, pass in a few weeks. And it's been since about March that we've been dealing with many challenges that were unforeseen by mere mortals that we are. So my question to you is, there are some people that are still sitting on their hands and doing nothing and hoping and praying that things are going to turn around in 20 minutes. And then there are people that have actually sought opportunity and innovated and created amazing ways to be of service and contribution, even in this challenging time. So given that you work with people who are inspired to go 100% remote in a high fee business, do you have a couple success stories to share that might inspire others who are listening and thinking, maybe it's time to stop wringing my hands and start rolling up my sleeves?
Absolutely. So I'll start with a cautionary tale and then a couple of success stories. The cautionary tale, which I've got several friends and colleagues, not clients, but several friends and colleagues who are, 500, 600K per year keynote speakers, and their income has been decimated. And I was talking to one of them just last week. And the person said, listen, I'm doing virtual gigs now for $2,000, $3,000. And, my income this year, I'll be lucky if I make 150 or 200K. Last year I was making 600K. So literally their income cut down by 66, 70%. And they're just shrugging their shoulders going, yeah, I guess that's what it is. It's like people aren't willing to pay more for virtual. Completely false, by the way, completely false. So switch over now to a client success story. someone who was doing $15,000 keynotes in the real world pre-March of 2020 is still getting $15,000 for virtual keynotes. The mindset switch is simple. Speaker number one is hardcore in their bones, believes virtual is worth less. My client, and lots of my clients who do virtual speaking and training, in their bones, hardwired, virtual's worth more. We can do more things in a virtual event before the event, during the event, and after the event to cement the learning, do things for ongoing repetition, reinforcement, and application that we could never do in a one-off live event, fly in, do the keynote, get on the plane, fly back out. So it's deeper value, it is longer value, it is longer lasting value, it's more meaningful value. And when they speak to that corporate client or they speak to that association client, they are their own best advocate. They are their own best courtroom lawyer saying, Your Honor, I object. And this is worth more because your people get 1, 2, 3, 4. And they just make the case because they believe it. Sales is a transfer of belief, right? Another success story is simply shifting modes or shifting delivery methods. We have another speaker who was running a pretty good $30,000, $40,000 per month keynote only business. And he had written a book and he had done coaching and he's a professional sports guy. That was his background. That's what got him into keynote speaking. And he said, David, I don't know, I don't know where to go for speaking gigs anymore. I said, well, how about coaching and consulting? He says, well, I would love to get into coaching and consulting. One problem. What's coaching? What's consulting? What does that look like? Because this person was just 100% pure speaker. And I said, well, so you're a professional sports star in your previous career, correct? He goes, yeah. I said, remember all the coach? Oh, that's coaching. And like, what if you do a series of keynotes and a series of coaching sessions? Could we bundle that together? And that would be a consulting program for ongoing, lasting behavior change inside of a company. So, people don't even know what these terms mean sometimes. And it's much simpler than a lot of people are making it. Nothing against the coaching industry, but the coaching industry believes you have to have all these letters after your name and you have to have all these certifications and thousands of hours of free coaching. I call that capital C coaching. The lowercase c coaching that you and I and a whole bunch of other experts do does not require certification, does not require thousands and thousands of hours of help. It's simply one-on-one mentoring, one-on-one training, one-on-one working with a client to help them get to an outcome that they already know they want. So a lot of people who are not going to be capital C coaches are going to be really good lowercase c coaches. And I've been doing coaching and mentoring for the last 15 years, and I have no coaching certifications whatsoever. I know my coaching colleagues in ICF are having a heart attack right now. They're having a stroke. Their heads are popping open. But, sorry, I do lowercase c coaching, not capital C coaching. Consulting is also this term that's shrouded in mystery. Consulting is simply embedding yourself into an organization at the highest level to do long-term behavior change of the folks in that company. So what my client just was able to do is close a $100,000 deal with a company that has 60 sales managers. Interestingly enough, and karma's a wonderful, amazing thing, that company was already calling their sales managers our internal coaches. That was their term already before my client came on the scene. Now, again, my client comes from an all-star sports background, has a fantastic book about teamwork and coaching, has done keynotes all over the world about the teamwork concept and the collaboration concept. When we put together the coaching package that he was going to present to the client, they already believed in the term coaching. They were already using the term coaching. He had a fantastic relationship with them from having done several keynotes over the years. He said, David, when they said yes, I had a hard time not like dropping the phone and falling out of my chair, but they actually bought it. And it was literally a $100K 12-month coaching agreement that he put together through all the building blocks that we're talking about. Some keynotes, some facilitation, some group work, some one-on-one, some executive coaching for the top team, ongoing access via email, via short videos, They're going to do an internal cohort kind of group. And so he's going to be on demand, available to them in a coaching relationship, whereas before he was going keynote, 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 love them and leave them. And that was the business model. And so there's so much possibility and there's so much need right now. One of the things I share with my clients who are just kind of in that speaking mode is solve bigger problems, get bigger checks. Speaking typically solves a small problem. Coaching and consulting solve medium and large problems, and the paycheck is commensurately larger.
That is so powerful. Boy, there's so much to unpack there. I'm going to have to listen to this again just to remember everything that you just dropped, because one of the things I wanted to point out is that whether you have the coaching credential or not, what you do have is the been there, done that, got the t-shirt, stripes from the from real life. Yeah. And the income to go with it. And you know, there are an awful lot of coaches out there that have tons and tons of letters beside their name that still don't have any clients. Right. So if you're going to be parting with meaningful money, bestow it upon a coach, mentor, or guide who is manifesting the result that you most desire as well. If you're broke, what do you call it? Brokey? You have a fun little expression.
It's better to be salesy than to be brokey.
Which is something I was thinking about today. You know, we all have blind spots. We all have blind spots. And if you are a speaker, a trainer, an expert, you might have over-invested in the idea that these are roles that you are destined to play because these are skills that you have. But your blind spot may be, oh, I need to proactively sell myself to organizations and clients so that they even know that I'm open for business and I'm accepting new clients. So what if you talk about this blind spot of forgetting to be proactive about our selling process?
Well, it's, you know, so I'll give you a couple of sound bites and believe it or not, less than 5-minute answers. Number one, I believe that sales need to happen daily. A day without a sale is a day without sunshine. So sometimes in an expert business, the cadence of sales is we do 1 or 2 sales a month, especially if it's a big ticket, kind of high ticket, you know, $50,000 consulting, $100,000 consulting package, multi-$100,000 consulting. Those don't come in every day. But the mindset that sales happen daily, meaning that I have to move a sales relationship forward by at least 1 step every single day. And one of the mantras that I share with people is 5 a day, always in play. So having 5 prospects that you're in some phase or stage of a sales conversation with, could be brand new prospect that you just found on LinkedIn, could be a second conversation, could be a follow-up conversation, could be a proposal conversation, could be a closing conversation, could be a negotiating conversation, but literally having 5 touch points a day, phone, email, text, LinkedIn, that just moves the ball forward with 5 different prospects, whether that prospect is at step 0 and this is your first contact, or they're at step 17 and they're about to close. So the expectation that sales activity, at least sales activity, has to happen daily. Maybe sales don't happen daily. In my world, I like when sales happen daily. Sales of something. I mean, maybe not a $100,000 package, but you know, I'm happy when I sell a book. I'm happy when I sell one of our little mini courses. I'm happy when I sell anything, because it's conditioning, right? We either get conditioned to sell every day or we get deconditioned to sell every day. And then it becomes okay not to have a sale this week. And then it becomes okay not to have a sale this month. And then it becomes okay not to have a sale this quarter. And then pretty soon you're on monster.com looking for your next corporate job because you could never figure out the sales piece. So having the discipline of doing those micro steps every day, that's going to put money in the bank. And so to your point about proactive selling, it is a daily discipline and a daily process.
I love that. And I have a follow-up question for you on that. Some people get overwhelmed with the follow-up. They have no system for follow-up. They can't remember the last time they talked to Bob, Mary, or Sue. Do you have a simple suggestion for people who are struggling in that way? That could be their blind spot. They don't have a system for sales follow-up. Do you have?
I have an embarrassingly simple suggestion. And I did this for years and years before my team made me stop doing it. So people talk about a customer relationship management software package like Salesforce or Highrise or Pipedrive. I never like those. You know what I like?
What do you like?
I like big, oversized 6-inch by 6-inch Post-it notes. So I would literally go to Staples, when you can go to Staples, now I order them online, and I buy the big, oversized neon Post-its, and I put the prospects who I'm actively talking with on this wall that's right behind me, right behind my laptop, so I can see it every day. And I've got an active list, and then I've got a joker list, and it's a little joker card. And so the jokers are the people that are stalling or delaying or, have disappeared on me, which is my fault, by the way. So my job is to either get the jokers off the board or move the jokers into the serious column. And my job with the serious column, and I put dates and I put value. Last time we talked was December 12th. And it's a $15,000 value if it closes. So at a glance, Nancy, literally on the wall, when you can do this on your wall, I see who I need every morning. I see who I'm talking to. I see who's kind of going stale, who I haven't talked to in 2 or 3 days. I try and get the jokers off the list by getting a no from them or moving them back into the serious bucket. And I put 20 Post-its on the wall. And so that 20, I call your active 20. Mm-hmm. The active 20 is your 20 prospects that are in play at any given slice of time. So you don't need 100, you don't need 1,000, it's active 20. Are there 20 people that you are in some phase or stage of a sales conversation with? Now, you have 5 work days in a week. What did we just talk about? 5 a day, always in play. You're not going to talk to all 20 of these people. That you'd be a pest if you called every single prospect in your pipeline every single day. But every 2 or 3 days, right, you're going to cherry pick that next 5. You're going to follow up. You're going to do a text. You're going to do an email. You're going to do a LinkedIn message, shoot a little short bomb video email just to let them know that you're thinking of them. Every step needs to add value. Here's what your follow-up should not look like. Hey, Nancy, just checking in. Hey, Nancy, just circling back. Hey, Nancy, you get a chance to look at that proposal yet? I am going to be sending them an article. I am going to be sending them a short little video. I am going to be sending them an infographic. I'm going to be sending them something that's going to be helpful and relevant to what they told me in the last conversation that we had. So I'm not pestering them. I am building a case that I'm already on the case, I'm already on the job, even before money has changed hands.
I love that.
When you're
love that. I just got to say,
right? We're all getting goosebumps right now.
Yeah, I've got them because I honestly, one of my core values is that you must always see, hear, and celebrate your client, your prospect, your partner in a genuine way, so that it isn't all about extricating cash from their wallet. Demonstrate that you're a human being in relationship with someone that's paying attention and taking a genuine interest. So I just love that. That was what Alex Mondosian would call a pack your bag moment, where during the interview, there was enough value that you just want to pack your bag and say, I am out of here. I've got so much value, but I've still got more questions for you, so you're not off the hook. So let me ask you this. There are speakers, experts, authors, consultants who have an urgent need to make money as soon as possible. And you are someone who is a thought leader, a mentor, and a member of the NSA $1 Million Speaker Group. You are in relationship with many people who have that scenario. What would your best advice be for these people?
So fantastic. What a great question. So the short answer is get a private coaching client. So when nothing was working in my business, which was a lot of times, especially in the first 5, 6, 7 years, I couldn't get training. I couldn't get a workshop. I couldn't get a speech. I couldn't get a corporate gig. I could always find a one-on-one private coaching client. So for the folks that do not have a private coaching offer, this is the easiest thing in the world to market and sell. You don't need to have a whole page on your website. You don't need a fancy one sheet or PDF. You need to have a conversation with someone, ask them what they're working on, what's working, what's not, what are their goals, what are their hopes, what are their dreams, what are their aspirations, and ask the following question when you hear something that you could really help them with. Here's the magic question. Well, Brenda, would you like some help with that? Well, David, yes, I would. In fact, I've been looking for blah, blah, blah. Is this something that we could work on together? And then this is the complete conversation right here. I have a one-on-one private mentoring program, just you and me, no group, no course, no modules, no nothing, just you and me working privately and intensively together on exactly this problem. And it's fantastic. It's private. It's driven by a weekly call. You have unlimited email access to me between the calls. If we need to jump on a quick call to clarify something or give you some marching orders, this is my just enough, this is still you talking, just enough, just in time, one-on-one mentoring program. Does something like that sound like it would make sense for your situation? Oh my God, that would be great. That would be fantastic. Now, I'm going to talk about the value, the impact, the result, and the outcome that Brenda wants. And then when I present the price, it sounds like this. Brenda, I have great news. To solve problem A, fix situation B, get you outcome C, and have you never again deal with problem D ever again the way you described it to me, I have great news. The fee is only, and then you drop a number. The fee is only $5,500, $9,500, $15K, whatever the number is. Then I literally say this, and this has made my clients hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't just say the price and leave it there. I say, I have great news. It's my 90-day program for all of these outcomes and results. It's only $9,500. Boom, easy, done. Do you want me to invoice you, or shall I take the credit card info from you right now? So when I say boom, easy, done, this de-escalates any sort of sticker shock. This is what I charge. This is what I get. And again, the number doesn't matter. 5,500, 9,500, 20K, whatever the number is. It de-escalates, right? It takes the drama out of the, oh, I hope it's not too high. I hope they don't mind. No one's going to mind if you're solving their problem. In fact, my buddy Bill Backrack says that you should be reassuringly expensive. If your client doesn't think you're expensive, they probably also don't think you're worth it. So you need to be reassuringly expensive. That's the sales conversation. I've literally sold hundreds of thousands of dollars of private one-on-one coaching. No website, no one sheet, no nothing. Help people solve their problem that they're talking to you about in a conversation. Would you like some help with that is the door opener. The closing line is super simple. Feedback exactly what they said they wanted. I have great news for the program that does A, B, C, and D. It's only $9,500. Boom, easy, done. You want to give me the card info now? Do you prefer I send you an invoice? And make it routine. If it's routine and there's no drama in it for you, it's going to be routine and there's no drama in it for them. That would be the fastest path to cash for a lot of people watching this.
Well, there's another piece of luggage that's heading out to the car. Another pack your bag moment. All right, so I have a couple other questions for you. You're on a roll now. There are many people who are used to doing business with real people in a real situation. They're not online. The whole remote thing is a new experience. The whole, how do I price it? How do I package it? How do I do it? It's all brand new. And so there is this tendency for some people to lean towards the low-end info product, the book, the course, the automated program, the modules, the this, the that, the other. Just curious if you have a point of view about that.
I always tell my clients, Nancy, that you should never ask me, so David, do you have an opinion? I'm always going to have an opinion. Whether it's right or not, I don't know, but I'm always going to have an opinion. So I have had several conversations with people about this. Literally $20,000 keynote speaker who's totally awesome, fantastic human being. I said, hey, what are you up to these days? She's so excited. David, I just started my $127 per month membership program. And I said, well, so how many of those do you need to sell to replace the income from the 20K speeches? She goes, well, this is a different business. And it's, she's building funnels and she's buying into all of this internet marketing craziness, and she's not playing to her strength. So what I would tell people is, if you're an offline marketer, which most speakers and consultants are, do not drink the internet marketing Kool-Aid. Because first of all, you are not internet marketing Kool-Aid, you are offline champagne. So if you have an offline champagne business, why in the world would you instantly switch? Well, everything is remote, everything's online. I guess I better sell something for $127 a month. Or they're gonna buy into ClickFunnels. And again, all these platforms are fine. ClickFunnels, Lead Pages, I use them, but I'm running an online marketed business and I'm running an online coaching and mentoring company. So I made that switch in 2013 because I wanted to. Now, of course, I'm super glad that I did, because of course today we have to. But folks that are playing a game in which they're not happy, they're not equipped, it doesn't play to their strengths, it's just a disaster. So what people end up doing is they end up doing one of two things the wrong way. Number one is they try and take their offline business and do the exact same thing on Zoom. So they're buying the studios, they're buying the green screens, and they're still in a gig to gig business. So stop buying green screens, stop building your home studio, and start building an actual remote business where you have ongoing recurring revenue and high fee clients that see the value in what you do. So don't just take your offline business, throw some green screens and some lights at it. That's mistake number one. Mistake number two, unless you want to get in, I mean, not just want to get in, unless you want to commit to an internet marketing driven business, don't drink the internet marketing Kool-Aid when you are actually champagne.
Oh, that's there. Oh my God. I feel like I'm taking a really big trip around the world with all the pack your bag moments. And I'll just share in my own community. I mean, believe me, I've been a bit of a perfectionist. I'm somebody that likes to do things right. And I want to prove myself with my info product. I want to prove myself with my course. I want to prove myself with my this, my that. But if I had a big lesson from my own peppered journey as a entrepreneur, is it takes just as much time, effort, and resource to sell a low-end product as it does to sell a high-end product. It takes just as much time, effort, heart, and smarts to sell a low-end versus a high-end product. So if you have an urgent need to create cash in your business, given the choice between low-end and high value, there is no choice. Yeah, you agree?
Amen. Amen times 100.
Oh my gosh. I just want to shake myself. I wish that I had gotten that message earlier, because there probably would have been many more zeros to the right of my income if I had gotten the religion. But the teacher, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
For sure.
So,
we all sound really smart in hindsight, don't we?
Yeah, it's like, you can't cry in your beer for the lesson, because when you feel it at a visceral level, then you cannot do it that way a moment longer.
Right.
That there has to be a better way. So what role does mindset play in all of this? Oh, I can't charge that, or I haven't been doing this long enough, or I'm not thin enough, or I'm not fat enough, or I'm not pretty enough, or I don't have enough of this, I don't have enough of that.
I used to be not fat enough, and I solved that problem. I totally solved that problem. I got that one there. No, but what you're talking about there, of course, is imposter syndrome and perfectionism and all of these different kind of phobias. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Who am I to call myself an expert?
I got to suffer more.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got to suffer more.
So I think to answer your question, how much is mindset? 110% of this game is about mindset. But sometimes, there's an outside inequality and we tend to believe it when we see it, and we need to flip that around. So if you're rejiggering your business, you're reimagining everything, your offers, your program, your marketing, your outreach, who your prospects are, who you're selling to, who's buying from you, I think you have to have a very clear visualization of that first, believe it in your heart and soul and guts, which is the mindset piece. Just like high performance athletes win the race in their mind about 1,000 times before they ever go onto that Olympic track. we need to visualize the very specifics of the kind of success that we want. And then the vibration and the mindset starts to match up with the reality. So this is also true, by the way. So people might think that's kind of a woo-woo kind of thing. Let me bring it down to very, very financial kind of dirty language, dirty terms. For people that are not making six figures yet, you've said to yourself 100 times, I'm a six-figure business owner trapped in a five-figure business. Why can't I figure this out? Then the day comes where you break six figures. You've made $100,000 in one calendar year, but now you're stuck there and you're like, I think there's a $250,000 business here. Why am I still stuck at 100K? And then you focus on marketing and you focus on sales and you focus on talking to the right people in the right language. Suddenly you're at 250K. What's the next thing you say? I know there's a 500K business in here. So we're all used to this ratcheting up process. Imagine if instead of just letting that occur to you, you dialed it in proactively and intentionally, and you said, you know what? This coming 12 months, I'm going to hit that next level, whatever that next level might be for you. Add another 100K, add another 300K to your income from whatever. Just put a plan in place. Look at it, marinate on it, cogitate on it, plan it out, map it out, touch it, feel it, see it, taste it. And trust me, my friends, it will start to happen sooner than you can imagine because it's a focal tool. It's a focal mechanism that it keeps your focus and keeps your eye on the ball at the right time. So you're noticing opportunities that you never noticed before. You're seeing allies and relationships that you never would have noticed before if you weren't focused on this 1000%. So it's almost like you have to tap into your brain's reticular activation system, start looking at the landscape in a different way, and you'll start to see opportunities. You'll start to see prospects. You'll start to see partners. You'll start to see different investable opportunities and different kinds of media and different kinds of methods will be available to you that if you weren't looking in that direction, you would never see them.
Love that. So let me ask you another question that's sort of relevant because we're talking about creating relationships, for example. None of us succeeds alone. It's always lovely to get in relationship with people who have audiences that are not yours. You have this flop method. Will you talk to me about what it is and why it matters and how we can apply it for our own success?
Yes, indeed. So years ago, I wrote a blog post that says why your business needs to flop. And flop is an acronym for feature and leverage other people. Because my conviction, especially in the kind of, marketing thought leader world where we are the product, I always tell my clients, people are not tired of hearing from you. They are tired of hearing from you about you. So when I am talking about how great David Newman is, and oh my God, he's so handsome, he's so chubby, he's so bald, he's so smart, he helps his clients so much, that only goes so far. So I'm going to elevate and escalate my status with my audience and my followers by saying, who you need to follow is my friend Nancy Juetten. Nancy has this fantastic new program called Bye Bye Boring Bio. She's going to help you elevate and escalate your profile on podcasts and webinars and live streams. And she is the go-to visibility and credibility expert. You want to work on that stuff, you got to talk to my friend Nancy. I have sent people to our mutual friends, people like Tom Poland and Dan Janal and all these other people that are in our friend circle. And I've gotten thank you notes. I've gotten thank you emails. I've gotten, David, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I just signed up with Dan. Dan is awesome. Dan is amazing. Hey, David, thank you for pointing out Tom Poland's program. I would have never found him unless you pointed that out to me. So these are people who have never spent a single dime with me and probably never will, and that's fine, but they're still my subscribers. I somehow still fit in their value equation. But the best value I'm going to bring to my audience on any given day, any given month is going to be friends, meet Nancy Juetten. Friends, meet Tom Poland. Friends, meet Dan Janal. And so you need to be a pointer outer of cool things, a pointer outer of cool things and people and programs that you truly believe in. And you really can't afford to make a mistake with this because your personal brand is tied to every person and every program that you recommend. So I am super, super selective on this. But yes, this is how to unleash the multiplier effect in your business. when you feature and leverage other people, the law of reciprocity starts to kick in. And Nancy, you know this because you're a brilliant partner to many high-flying experts as well. They will start to feature and leverage you in front of their audience. And so I want everyone watching to think about the following question. Who already has your client as their client, their audience, their subscribers, their fans, and their followers? And what can you do in the next 15 days to reach out to that other person, reach out to that other consultant, that other expert, that other speaker, have a little virtual coffee chat about how you can help and promote and connect each other with other cool people, and how you can do some cross promotion and some joint promotion. And if you do that, even if you do that just once or twice a month, at the end of the year, you're going to have 12 to 24 virtual salespeople who are going to help you promote your program to their audience. What would that do for your business? So I'm a huge believer in that. I'm a huge practitioner of that. Nancy, you're a masterful practitioner of that. And it makes us look better to our audience when we're featuring and leveraging other people and shining the spotlight on other smart experts that they should know about.
Well, thank you for that beautiful explanation. And I hope that everyone that's listening is thinking, who can I partner with in 2021 where the value add makes what you offer even more complete? Because none of us is an expert in everything. There's always going to be a gap that needs to be bridged. And you probably have a way to bridge that gap so that David's program could be even more brilliant than it already is.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you one other question, because sometimes people say, I'm attracting the wrong people. The people in my group are drafting and enjoying everything I'm giving, but they're not buying. I mean, I know you have a thought leadership Facebook group. I don't know how choosy you are about welcoming new members, but what are your best tips and suggestions around attracting more of the right, wildly profitable, wildly action-inspired people into your universe that have the proclivity to want to invest wisely in their success?
Such a great question. And I'm constantly working on improving this. I will give you a couple of tips, the folks watching, and this is kind of the blinding flash of the obvious. If your marketing language talks about pain, problems, struggles, and challenges, guess who you attract? People with pain, problems, struggles, and challenges. If, on the other hand, you use gourmet language, so think about walking into like a McDonald's versus a beautiful restaurant with crystal chandeliers and white tablecloths and 7 kinds of cutlery and so forth. There's a whole different feel. There's a whole different menu. There's a whole different service experience. So think about this, right? Are you struggling to get clients? Are you struggling just to scrape together enough money every month? That would be one message that is guaranteed to attract people who are doing what? Struggling to scrape together enough money every month. Think about a different subject line. Are you struggling with low 6-figure problems? Low 6-figure problem, like, are you stuck at like 125K, 150K? You're not quite sure how to get to that next level. You're kind of in this, golden handcuffs with your 6-figure business, and you're not quite sure how to make it to $500,000. That person that I'm now talking to, that I'm calling out, is a very different person than the person who's struggling just to scrape enough money together every month and to make ends meet. So we sometimes shoot ourselves in the foot by using the struggler language instead of the gourmet language, because everybody has problems. We just need to be talking about the gourmet problems and not the starvation problems.
That I feel like I'm going to take a trip around the world with all the pack your bag moments that you've dropped during this interview. And I'm sure that everyone that's listening is thinking,
we should chop this up into like 7 short interviews.
But this has been so amazing. So I just feel so full and so enriched by all the value that you delivered, and I knew that you would. And so what a gift this is going to be to everyone that I know. And I also know that there are going to be people that are going to watch this today that are going to say, I'm ready to solve some gourmet problems. David, I think you're my man. So my question to you is, for those who are actively leaning in and are salivating at the prospect of having the privilege of working with you, what option might you make available to them so they know that they qualify and they can do the right thing to hasten that outcome?
Sure, and thank you for that great question. So the next step for the folks that are, as Nancy described, seriously wanting to kind of work on some of this and see if we might be a good fit, I have a complimentary 100% no charge high fee platform audit where we look at everything you have going on in your business as far as marketing, sales, positioning, packaging, messaging. We spend a very intense 30 minutes together on the phone. I send you some pre-work material before. There is no selling. There is no BS. There is no kind of honey trap, beat you over the head with a sales message. So if you want to just have an exploratory chat about where your business is and what a next step might look like to get you to the next step in your business, the place to book that high fee platform audit is simply highfeeplatform.com. Highfeeplatform.com opens up a simple calendar. You pick the date, you pick the time. I'll see that it came in. On your form, please mention Nancy. Please mention the amazing and awesome Nancy Juetten is our mutual connection so that I know that you came from this broadcast, and I'll treat you with particular kid gloves. And let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do, and I'll give you some ideas, and whether we decide there's a next step or not, it's going to be a hugely valuable 30 minutes that we spend together.
I love that, highfeeplatform.com. And I just want to put in parentheses, if you don't have a business that's making money right now, this probably isn't for you just yet, correct?
That's right. We want someone that is already up and running in some kind of business, meaning you have some clients, maybe not the right kind, or maybe not at the level that you want. You have a website, for example. So I don't have a website, so have some kind of business up and running and have some clients, have a web presence of some kind, be a serious business owner, not someone who's kind of thinking about it or dabbling.
Brilliant. So highfeeplatform.com is where you go. I'm going to put it in the show notes, and I'm saying it again for emphasis. Highfeeplatform.com. That's how you can have a chat with David to take a look at the whole shebang and see how it can have more beautiful music of ka-ching as soon as possible.
Exactly. I love that.
Now, is there anything I should have asked you that I didn't ask you that you need to correct me on so that we can put the big red bow on this fabulous conversation?
Boy, what a great question. Well, I would say for that business owner, for that entrepreneur of their expertise that has a business already up and running, it's never too early to make changes and shifts in what you're doing. And for sure, it's never too late. It is never, ever too late. The Japanese proverb, best time to plant a tree, 20 years ago. Second best time to plant a tree is today, because we can't go back in a time machine and say, oh, I wish I had a virtual online business 20 years ago. It's like, well, we all wish we had that. What can we do today? We can flex, we can innovate, we can make changes, we can put some things in place, we can install a new operating system in your business so that you're never dependent on live events. You can do live events. I love live events. When live events come back, I'll be the first one to raise my hand. But I never need to show up live anywhere anymore. And that's been the case since 2013. So to have a more resilient, more recession-proof business, it's never too early, it's never too late.
Well, David Newman, certified speaking professional, awesome expert that you are, what a privilege to be in conversation with you, to compel all of our listeners to go premium as soon as possible, high fee, remote, and to have the privilege of knowing that someone with your particular skills and expertise is standing by to support them every step of the way. Thank you so much for being my guest today. And I look forward to sharing this out with everyone I know so that they will be sitting at the feet of your wisdom and benefiting and profiting and smiling all the way to the bank.
Thank you, Nancy. It was really fun to be here with you.
Thank you so much.